Civilization advances. Many of these are already familiar. In fact, there aren't too many new ones. Education is new. Education allows music theory, which is another new one. And it allows you to build universities, whereas previously the university was a advance even in and of itself. Fascism, I don't know if that's an advance, but it's something that you can develop for a fascist government. Not that I would want it. Nuclear fission is replaced simply by fission. Genetics, I suppose, replaces genetic engineering. Ironclads are a distinct advance. Just having steam power isn't enough. Motorized transportation instead of, I suppose, the automobile. Let's see if the automobile is separate. No, so motorized transportation. Music theory. This helps you build up your cultural power, your soft power, as it were, which is distinct from anything that existed in earlier versions of civilization. Basically, the influence of your cities had to do with their size in Civilization 1 and 2. Civilization 3 introduces the idea of cultural influence. Here's some sound effects for you. The printing press is distinct, and it leads to democracy. Replaceable parts, which really means interchangeable parts. There's mass production there, which is the logical next step. The scientific method is distinct as well. And smart weapons apparently are different from everything else here, although strangely enough you don't get any special missiles or anything, you just get integrated defense. And synthetic fibers, for some strange reason, is another advance, although you do get some units out of it. Notice modern armor and modern paratroopers, presumably because they have body armor. And there aren't too many other new things here. Let's take a look at the smart weapons thing again. Yeah, you just don't get anything out of it. It's strange to me. Satellites are distinct. You can build ICBMs. I don't know if you'd really want to. It's the same old problem in previous versions of Civilization and in real life that nuclear weapons basically are not usable. So you can build tanks with motorized transportation, same as before, but for whatever reason you can't build anything else. Another question, is combustion separate? It seems like combustion is... Oh wait, there it is. So you can build cruisers, destroyers, and transports with it. Incidentally, I'm very fond of these cruisers. I mean, this picture here doesn't really do it justice. They are actually very pretty when you get to see them in the game anyway. And for whatever reason, they don't appear in all Civilization games. Actually, after Civilization 3, you never see the gun cruisers again. You see missile cruisers, but no gun cruisers. But I happen to really like the cruisers in Civilization 3. But you can see they've done a lot of tweaking here generally. Now if we jump back, we can look at the Great Wonders. Great Wonders are more or less the same as before, except for that the internet has been added, because by 2001 it was quite clear how important the internet was. I'm not sure why the Knights Templar are in here. Oh, may trigger a golden age for militaristic and religious civilizations, because you also have religious power. This is developed further in Civilization 4 and 5, where you can have a religious victory. Also the Mausoleum of Mausoleus. That's also a new one. Longevity, I'm not sure what that's supposed to do. All cities get a population increase of 2 instead of 1 when the food storage box is full. Newton's University is distinct from Isaac Newton's College. Actually, it replaces it, more correctly. A statue of Zeus, that's new. The Temple of Artemis, that's new. Universal suffrage instead of women's suffrage. This probably is to deal with allegations of racism or what have you against the older versions of the game. Small wonders, these are completely new, except for the Apollo program was not a small wonder in the old version of Civilization. It was a great wonder. And all this other stuff is pretty much new, though the strategic missile defense was the SDI defense in the earlier versions of Civilization. And all this other stuff is new. Basically gives you the opportunity to further build up your civilization, defend it, and so on. City improvements. Commercial dock is new, instead of just a port facility or a harbor. You still have the harbor. Hospital is new. Can grow beyond a population of 12. Of course, in the older versions of Civilization, you can grow beyond a population of 12 without the hospital. And if we look carefully, we notice the sewage system is missing. So you basically build the hospital instead of the sewage system. The aqueduct is still around. Civil defense can be built in any size settlement and provides a 50% defensive bonus to units defending in the town. But it can only be built in a city that has a barracks. And let's see if there's anything else interesting here. Of course, the spaceships, as you can see, are much more complicated. But otherwise, it's in wealth that's equivalent to capitalization. By and large, it's not a radical change. But we're out of time, so see you in the next video.